Good evening, everyone. We're happy to be back. It's been a little bit. Okay, and Teresa, we're going to start with the successor agency. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilmembers Ayala,
Aye.
Perez,
Here.
Ramirez.
I'm here.
There he is. Vice Chair Rios.
Here.
And Chair Valencia.
I'm here. And let me see, there are two items.
Move it.
Okay. Can we get a roll call, please? Oh, actually, are there any speakers on it or
No,
emails?
nothing on the
Okay.
successor agency.
All right, let's do it.
Board members Ayala,
Aye.
Perez, Ramirez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rios,
Aye.
Chair Valencia.
Aye. And is there an executive director's report?
There is no executive report tonight. Thank you.
Okay, all right, hearing none, we're going to adjourn that portion. Thank you. All right, now we're going to get started with our regular meeting. And the regular meeting of the Norwalk City Council is now called to order at 6:10 PM. Excuse me. And we have with us for the invocation, we have Randy Bradley from the Apostolic Lighthouse leading our invocation for tonight. Okay, thank you. And just a little bit about Mr. Bradley. For the past 23 years, Randy has served as the senior pastor at Apostolic Lighthouse, dedicating a total of 30 years to his ministry. While he resides in Cerritos, his heart is devoted to the local Norwalk community with his ministry. It brings him joy to witness individuals whose impossible situations transform into positive outcomes. It's always beautiful to see that, and I'm sure you have a great deal to do with that. When it is time to relax, Randy enjoys gardening and working in the yard. You can also catch him reading books as that is his favorite hobby. Thank you for coming today, Randy Bradley. And following the invocation, I'd like you to come forward for a certificate and some photos. Now let's welcome Randy to lead the invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Lord God, in these trying times, we call on you to give us your wisdom, because we know that the wisdom from above is first of all pure. It is also peace-loving, gentle at all times, and willing to yield to others. It is full of mercy and good deeds. It shows no favoritism and is always sincere. Your wisdom is much better than gold and is far more valuable than precious gems. Nothing we desire in this world can compare with it. Your wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, we ask you this evening to impart it to us and give us the understanding we need to make the right choices and decisions in our lives. We pray for the city of Norwalk that your hand of blessing, favor, and protection will be upon it always. We pray all these things in the wonderful and powerful name of Jesus Christ, who is the wisdom of God. Amen.
Thank you. Now, up next, we have Young Marine Corporal Mendoza. Young Marine Corporal Mendoza is a resident of Norwalk. He is in the 8th grade and attends Bunchy Elementary School in Carson. In addition, he is a talented photographer and actively participates in an airsoft team.
Yes, ma'am.
Airsoft? Awesome. Young Marine Corporal Mendoza has found a sense of purpose in his involvement with the Young Marines. His commitment to his service and discipline speaks volumes about his character. His hobbies include skateboarding and playing football and baseball. Thank you for being here, Young Corporal Mendoza. After the flag salute, please step forward to accept a certificate and take some pictures with my colleagues and I. Now let's welcome Young Marine Corporal Mendoza. You're here. All right.
Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Teresa, I understand there's an announcement that needs to be made.
Did you want me to make the announcement now or roll call first? Yeah, I'll just do roll call and then I'll just jump right in. Is that okay? Thank you. Council members Ayala.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Ramirez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Here.
Mayor Valencia.
Here.
Yes, so the announcement is regarding it's a notice of decorum for anybody who's participating through Zoom, just to provide some information. So anybody who's utilizing the city Zoom platform to view and or participate in the Norwalk City Council meetings, please note that the same rules of decorum for those who attend city council meetings in person apply to those participating remotely via electronic platforms. All remote observers of city council meetings must keep their microphone muted throughout the business portion of the meeting. Placing your microphone off mute or turning your camera on should only take place when you are called upon during the public comment portion of the meeting or for a specific item that you wish to speak on. Anyone who makes unnecessary disruptions or otherwise interferes with the orderly conduct of the council meeting may be subject to not only removal from the meeting and reported to Zoom, but you will also may lose your opportunity to participate in future city council meetings via the city's Zoom platform. Your cooperation in maintaining decorum and orderly conduct is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Let me see. Our City Attorney. Is there a City Attorney report?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. The record should reflect this evening that the City Council recessed into closed session for 3 items. Only 2 were discussed tonight. The record should further reflect that all 5 members of the City Council were present, that the items that were discussed, first of all, was item number 1, conference with real property negotiator regarding the Norwalk municipal water system. That is also on the open agenda, so will be addressed at that time. There was no action taken from closed session and nothing to be reported. Item 2 was not discussed this evening. Item 3, a briefing was provided to the City Council, an update on the City of Norwalk versus City of Cerritos case, and there was no action taken. Direction was provided, and there is nothing further to be reported at this time. That concludes my report from closed session, Madam Mayor. It's appropriate to continue with the open portion of the meeting.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go on. Well, actually, before that, I'd like to just say how lovely it is and how great it is to be back in session. And I was telling people, it's the sign of the times. You know, this whether it's COVID or viruses or colds, it got us. It got us pretty good. So we're really happy to be back and back on track. But I would also like to welcome some of our commissioners. Claudia Pavon, Commissioner for Historical Heritage. Where are you, Claudia? Thank you for joining us. And Petra Peña, Commissioner for Public Safety. Thank you. Martha Mesa, Commissioner for Senior Commission. All right, Martha. And then, of course, Jose Rios, Board Vice President for the Norwalk La Mirada School Board. Thank you. Okay. And we have Karen Spilsbury, the Executive Director of our Norwalk Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. All right. And now we're going to go on to our City Council comments. Do we have, let's start with Councilmember Ayala.
Thank you to who was ever in charge of doing the decorations tonight. I think it's very cute and it's very lively. I don't recall having it seen like that before. But, you know, I was sitting here, I was thinking, I looked at the staff and whatnot about, you know, about Christmas and Thanksgiving and all the things that happen here. And, you know, there was a great program started for Thanksgiving by Kevin Gano and Luigi Vernola to provide Thanksgiving meal, lunch, dinner at the senior center for people who may not have had families or didn't have any family in town, you know, that there was somewhere that they could go to spend Thanksgiving with people they knew and with the staff, you know, supporting that, the council supporting that. It's been a huge success, and that happens in large part because of social services and Gabby and her troops. But all the staff that is there that day to serve and everything else, those are all volunteers. Nobody's getting paid on Thanksgiving. And you got people giving up a pretty good chunk of Thanksgiving. And we have volunteers from throughout the city. I know for the people that are on Meals and Wheels who you can't actually come in, the meals are actually, you know, delivered, which I was impressed because I know like our city clerk, Teresa DuBois, her and her daughter took a route of people that were getting Meals on Wheels that were basically shut in. So her and her daughter spent the morning delivering meals to various houses and stuff in the city. And these are a lot of things that residents don't see. They don't see our staff pitching in to do stuff like that. They see us in meetings and stuff like that, but they don't see what kind of things are going on there. And I'll just run through it real quick because I started making a list. I kind of amazed myself. Social services also does the Angel Tree, which I'm sure everybody's aware of, and they do various, food projects for people in need during the holidays, and that's always been tremendously successful. During this time of the year, social services literally serves thousands of people that need either gifts or food angel tree tags or whatever. It's pretty impressive. And then shout out to recreation. You know, the tree lighting was outstanding. It was the biggest crowd I can remember for a long time, Ellen. Nice job. And it's complete. You know, it's a complete event, and it's really nice that it's not like they hadn't been complete before you got here, but since you've gotten here, I can see the improvement in the programming, and I just want to thank you for that, and especially during Christmas with everything else you have going on. Um, you know, and then you have Santa Sleigh that you're involved with, you know, deeply, and I'm sure Marguerite will want to talk about this, but after out in January, and then you got Posadas, you know, and so all these things are around the holidays, right? Which is a lot of times one of the most difficult times to do things, right? And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, because this is the one that people really don't know about, but Jim Parker for a number of years has been doing a project called Stuff-A-Bus. And I know the Stuff-A-Bus was at Norwalk High School, and he coordinates with all these people to come down and stuff the bus, you know, with donated toys and everything else. And then those are distributed through other type things. One of them, which is now rolls into another department, which is public safety. And, you know, Kevin Gano was involved in the Thanksgiving thing, and I just remember him saying Thanksgiving has to happen on Thanksgiving. And he started a public safety gift giveaway program, but it had to be on Christmas Eve. You know, so, you know, people really sacrifice to go out there and volunteer, you know, on Christmas Eve to do these things. But Ozzy brought the program back, and public safety will be doing their, you know, toy distribution. So just to give residents some idea of what the scope of all this is. And then, of course, none of these things can happen without, you know, for these events and stuff, without, you know, public safety, you know, being there, manning all the, you know, places they need to be during the event. And without public services and all the public services guys, you know, they're involved in setup and all this other stuff. And like I said, I can't overemphasize, because if you're in a department at the city where you're not actually doing Christmas programming, that staff also volunteers, whether it's to get, you know, gifts for Angel Tree or do whatever. So, you know, the holidays is just something that's always been very special in Norwalk. The thing is that nobody wants recognition for it, and I get that. But sometimes I think it's good when our community knows how much the staff cares, because you wouldn't be seeing this level of participation and this level of volunteerism and whatnot if you didn't have people working for the city that were part of our family and acted like it. So I just want to thank all the staff that's here and everybody that's contributed to making this stuff such a tremendous success during the holidays, to just say thank you in a very long-winded way.
Thank you, Councilmember Ayala. And I'll go with Councilmember Rick Ramirez.
Madam Mayor, no comments this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Jennifer Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. Tony brought up a lot of the same events and special projects that have been going on in the city that I was going to talk about. And what a blessing it is to have all of those right here in our own home, right here in our city with our residents and with our Norwalk family, our team, our Norwalk employees. So again, I echo everything that Tony had shared. Some of those programs that got started back in 2017, 2018 are some of my favorites. And I am so excited that we continue them each and every year. So to our team, again, thank you. And please take our kudos back to the team in your offices tomorrow morning. Just as a reminder, Tony did mention the Santa's float. Our Norwalk Now is out. The Santa's float schedule is not only in the Norwalk Now, it is all over our social media. And a huge thanks in advance to the entire Santa's Float Foundation organization. It's not a city-run program. The city partners with the Santa's Float Foundation, the Vernola Salas family. So please go out there. It's traveling around our city for 6 nights. So please find the dates on and times on our social media pages and on our website. Again, it is that time of year for all of our newsletters are out. Information galore for our child development program, our pathway to services for our social services department. I love this one, the youth and family services. This is huge for our families, especially coming towards the holiday season, and our senior center. Games, activities, outings, sing-alongs, you name it. There is a ton of stuff going on here in the city of Norwalk. And I think what we're all seeing up here, it's a true spirit of giving in the city of Norwalk. We don't do things because we have to. We don't do things for photo ops. We do things because it's the right thing to do and because we want to. So continue that giving spirit. We're just starting. We're going through nonstop throughout the entire month of December. A huge thank you to our chamber, to our school districts, to our nonprofits. We just celebrated and had a fundraiser with our Seroptimus Club that did an amazing job for our young women in the city of Norwalk. There's a lot going on and a lot of good happening. So continue it, celebrate with us, and I can't wait to see you at the next event. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Margarita Rios.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and welcome. I definitely want to ditto to the sentiments that were already shared by Councilwoman Perez and Councilman Ayala. I do want to share that on one of the events that is coming up this Saturday at Hargett House Museum, Holidays at Hargett, starts at 5 p.m. I've actually been to that event. I was there last year, and they do a really nice job. Last year they had carolers, they have snacks and activities for the kids. And if you haven't been to the Hargett House Museum recently, you don't want to miss an opportunity to see it decorated during the holidays. So something to maybe put on your calendar for this Saturday. I also want to mention, as was already mentioned, as far as all the activity that goes into our events and all the work that goes into the programming. I know that when I see I refer to them as our orange shirts, which is our public services department. They're out there wearing their safety vests, wearing their orange shirts, easily identifiable. And I always like to make a point to go and thank them because they are the ones that are putting in the hard work to set up, break down, and it's a lot of work. You see them out there, picking up litter, taking down canopies, putting away tables and chairs, etc., you name it. So thank you, Public Services, for all that you do to help support the programming here in the city of Norwalk. And the other thing that I'll share is I used to find it more surprising, but not so much now, is all the individuals that I run into that aren't even from the city of Norwalk. That's how good our programming is.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay. I meet people.
They're regulars.
I start chatting it up with someone, and next thing, oh, where do you live? And I live in Cerritos. I live in Downey. I live in Whittier. And they come because they know that Norwalk does it right. Yeah. So that's always cool to see. And the last thing I'll mention is I really wish you all good health and wellness during the next few weeks as we wrap up 2023 and beyond, obviously. But as there is an uptick in flu season and just other, ailments going around, please do your best to stay well and healthy. I really wish all of you health and safety throughout the rest of the 2023 year. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. So I echo the sentiments as well, but I'm going to go down my list very quickly. And then Vice Mayor, I know you got hit with COVID again. I know. 3 times. Wow. So yeah, and I got hit with not COVID, not the flu, but something. So the doctor says you need to stay and rest. We don't even know what that is, you know. No time for rest. But we're hoping that everybody is okay. All right, so November 8th, I was able to join Julia Emerson of Southern California Gas Company in a really nice event in Pico Rivera. It was with Latinas Lead, and very nice event, lots of networking, and also just getting to know a lot of people from different areas and in different walks of life. Very, very great event. We should go sometime to the next one. It's really nice, and Jennifer as well. Saturday, November 11th, our Veterans Day event was just beautiful. Thank you to all staff. Thank you to all public safety. Everybody played a huge role, and it was, I think, one of our best ever as well. People just commented on how beautiful our decorations were, and just what a great event it was. And of course, Supervisor Janice Hahn made it even better because of that great contribution of $200,000 to basically, spruce up and to bring up to par the American Legion Hall. It's just amazing that they were able to find that money and spearhead it to our Norwalk American Legion. Can't wait for that money to be put to good use. Let me see, Thursday, November 16th, I attended the Blue Ribbon Committee on Homelessness, and that was with a lot of other leaders from our surrounding areas, and very fruitful conversations. And then later on, the Sanitation Committee meeting. And that was really good information as well. And I got to see Janice Hahn. Then later on, Norwalk Chamber Mixer at Mr. Rosewood's. And I had some conversations there, and I get an email. Hey, we need some pies donated for the senior event for Thanksgiving. And I just happened to mention it to a couple of people there. And Jason, Mr. Rosewood, was there. And he says, Anna, you got it. We're set. And that's where the conversation started. Got them connected with Gabriela Regalado, and it happened. And we had great event at the Norwalk Senior Center that later on that week. It was wonderful. Saturday, November 18th, the council and met with staff regarding homelessness and our next steps, and we're doing some really good plans, and can't wait to put them. Well, we've already been doing a lot of work with the unhoused, but a lot of steps to really just kind of cover all bases, as many as we can. And the HOPE team and our public safety and the Department of Social Services are doing a wonderful job in getting the services to these folks. So thank you. Monday, November 20th, I went on a field trip. I went on a field trip to the Norwalk Transit, and our Director of Transportation did a great job in getting us, and there were Jesus Gomez and I went, and then our Director of Public Safety also gave us a field trip of that of the grounds and the services that we have there. It was wonderful. I also did a ride along on the Norwalk Transit bus with our very own Anita Hernandez, and got to experience. I was asked, hey, do you want your own bus? And I said, nope, I want to go in and have the experience of what everybody experiences. Well, we had like 2 people, I think, board on and off. But it was a slow morning. And then we ended up at the Green Line. And just to kind of really get to see, I noticed that at the Green Line, we have restrooms now. They didn't have restrooms in the past, the last time I checked. But a lot is being done, a lot in conjunction to have the services for our residents. And we truly appreciate that. But thank you very much, Jim Parker. Thank you very much, Glenn Cow, for that information, wealth of information. And I have to tell you, I ran into someone very special, and I didn't recognize her, but she recognized me. Selena, what is Selena's last name? Roman. Gomez, Selena Gomez, and not the other Selena Gomez. Apparently, well, not apparently, I was her kindergarten teacher, and she remembered me. Isn't that amazing? Oh, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in kindergarten. I told her I was really crazy then, huh? She goes, we loved it. So it really hasn't stopped. Let me see. And then, I forgot, backtrack. Saturday, November 18th, the director of the Door of Hope, Mercedes Quintanilla, and I were able to, once again, it takes a village. We got donations of turkeys and hams, and with the help of our own social services, we were able to provide full Thanksgiving meal materials, I guess, ingredients, to 15 needy families in Norwalk. And thank you, Director of Social Services, Gabriela Regalado, for really helping to set that up. We got the list from you. We had a couple of others. And to see the eyes, the expressions on those families getting those meals was just, it was just, it touched our hearts. And it's just something that we'll never forget. So thank you. On Monday, November 20th, later on that day at Hermosillo Park, we had the camera and Wi-Fi ribbon cutting. Wasn't that fun, Jennifer? It is so exciting because that's our first one, and we're going to have 12 more. Right, Levy? 12 more? Or all of our parks? All of our parks, yes. We are going to have camera and Wi-Fi there, and that is wonderful. So you can take your laptop, even your phone, do your work while you have a nice time with your family. That's amazing. So Levy, thank you. You did a great job, and everybody else involved too. Looking forward to having that. Margarita, it's going to be great in all of our parks. Yeah, I know. We told people that you would have loved to have been there. Yeah. You were missed, definitely. And then, of course, the Thanksgiving lunch for the seniors. I went in earlier on, and just kind of thanked people and went around and thanked our volunteers. We had a lot of volunteers this time. I mean, we've had volunteers in the past, but man, this place was packed. It was like almost one volunteer per senior. It looked like, but it was beautiful. And we had some nice pictures, and we don't do it for the pictures, of course, but it's nice to take pictures when we have such a turnout and such beautiful people doing such wonderful work, right? It was great. And then, of course, Saturday, December 2nd, we had our Norwalk City Hall tree lighting ceremony. Beautiful. The kids, the performers, it was just, all I heard was positive things. It was just beautiful. And all of us were there for that, and that was great. And of course, our Senator Barbara Chuleta was there too to join us. Sunday, the Seroptimist, the Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs chapter of the Seroptimist International. Karen was there and Jennifer was there, and thank you so much for going up and talking with me, because my voice is a little raspy now. It was really raspy on Sunday, so Jennifer was able to chime in. But we have to brag. Jennifer and I are members, and so is Karen. The Norwalk Santa Fe Springs chapter of the Seroptimist International was awarded with the most active chapter in all, and please correct me or add, North America and Canada, and there was another country, and Japan. We are number one. That's how wonderful our Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs folks are. It is amazing, and they proudly displayed the certificate, and I want to I didn't get a picture of it, but I want to take a picture of it because we need to highlight that. And I think at a future meeting, we should have some representatives of the Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs chapter. And I want to say, your daughter, Tony, was past president, if I'm not mistaken, yes? Of that chapter. I think it was, a lot of it had to do with her as well. So congratulations. That's something to be proud of. And of course, this Saturday, if you haven't put it on your schedule, put it on there. Project Angel Tree, one of the most beautiful events that we have here in Norwalk, is taking place this Saturday at Chavez Elementary from 9 to 2, where children are going to receive gifts of clothing and a toy, and just to see their expressions on their faces, on the children, and then the gratitude coming from the families is just amazing. So yes, Norwalk is wonderful, and there's a reason why we live here and why we do the things that we do. And I truly feel that we're doing God's work. So thank you to all. And those are my comments. And of course, if I don't see you, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All right. Okay, so now we're moving on to the City of Norwalk would like to recognize the Norwalk Lions Club. The organization reached out to the city and asked to present a check donation, another check donation, because we've had several. The check will go to the Norwalk Youth and Family Services for our own social services department. The Norwalk Lions Club has served our community since 1946 and live out their motto of "We Serve." The Norwalk Lions Club is part of the world's largest service club, which includes 1.4 million members in 200 countries. They are united to help those in need through local projects and global causes. Today, the Norwalk Lions Club will present a check for $1,500 donation to the Youth and Family Services. And the Youth and Family Services has been helping the community of Norwalk families with at-risk adolescents and providing support for their experience in school, home, and community. So would you please, members of the Lions Club, come down, and members from the Social Service Department, and take some pictures with my colleagues and I. And let's give them a round of applause, please. Yeah, I'm gonna take it over for now, just to kind of have it there, and then we'll get it back to you before you leave. And our members are Petra Pena, Mike Pena, Jim Ruiz, Claudia Pavon, and those are the Norwalk Lions, yes? And of course, myself, yeah. Okay. All right, and now that's the end of the presentations. Our city manager comments. Our city manager, Jesus Gomez.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. First of all, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to our community, to our staff, to our volunteers. We would like to promote safety during this holiday season. And you'll be seeing some of our reader boards out in our community, in our shopping centers, that'll remind us to see something, say something. Also, lock hide your valuables. Don't leave things out in the open to be seen. It attracts individuals that you don't want near your vehicle. So we want to promote safety for this season. The one, the council mentioned the events that we have, and I want to publicly thank staff for the effort that they go through to really plan the events and put some forethought into the events. And I think that's what makes these events here in the city that attract from other cities here in our community to participate. But I also want to point out the volunteers. We do have, our TAP program. It was great to see the volunteers at the Thanksgiving lunch. There were a lot of volunteers, and that was a great feeling to know that these individuals on Thanksgiving Day are giving of their time to provide a really great opportunity to help these seniors feel like they have a home. And it truly felt like they had a home here at the senior center. So I want to thank the volunteers. Tonight, I want to take some time to provide information on Flash Vote. We have Levy Sun, who will present the information. This is again a tool for us to be able to measure the sentiments of our community. And with the presentation, you'll get more information. But this is something that we can do on a regular basis. And so with that, Levy.
Thank you so much, Jesus. Good evening, Council, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Tonight, I am excited to present about Flash Vote. This is a resource that can strengthen our ties between the city and the community. Now, as you know, people provide feedback to the city in many ways, including at public meetings. But now our community has another channel to give input using Flash Vote, even if they can't attend our meetings or focus groups. Flash Vote is a professional survey tool that aims to improve our decision-making process and at the same time increase civic engagement and community awareness. Now, there's 3 things that make Flash Vote different and more objective than a standard survey that you just shoot out there. First, it uses a large number of survey signups. Over the past several months, we've encouraged signups in person at events such as concerts in the park, through the Norwalk Now newsletter, and on social media. We currently have over 470 signups and growing every week. Secondly, Flash Vote helps with quality control. This means we have experts who will help us craft questions and assist with data analysis. Third and lastly, Flash Vote Norwalk respondents sign up in a blind opt-in method on the website or by phone. What this means is that they are signing up for more reasons than just responding to a single hot topic or issue. We're really driving in on the motivation of altruism. They want to improve Norwalk. They want to find time to provide that feedback. Once a survey is ready, participants are notified by either email or text to visit a website to take the survey. Now, participants can expect to take the survey at least 6 to 8 times a year, depending on how we want to roll this out. And as you can see from the bottom row, other public agencies have used Flash Vote. Many of them have used this resource to request community input. Responses are available in 48 hours. On Wednesday, November 29th, Flash Vote notified people to take the city's annual communication survey. Now, rather than going through the raw data, I'd rather have it put in context of how it performed this year compared to last year. So we have some year-over-year comparisons. As it shows, people have relied still on the Norwalk Now newsletter, the city website, and social media for our updates. News outlets and unfortunately our cable TV ranked low on a list of reported news sources. The three platforms, Norwalk Now, city website, and social media, saw double-digit increases in people relying on that information more than the previous year. And true to our slogan, a connected community, we saw an increase actually of people wanting more information regularly across our platforms, which can include social media. Now here's where things get really fun for me, because the data can be used in different ways. But here's one snippet for you to look at. What I want to do is just walk you through this journey here. People were asked to label and notify us of what are the top topics they're most interested in. So let's start with 30 and under. You see number 1, city events, then new business developments, then third, housing developments and street improvements. Now let's take that category and move it down to the next stage, age 31 to 45. You see that number 1 and 2 remain the same, but look at what's swapped out with number 3, programs for youth and families. Shouldn't be a surprise. It's a lot of assumptions that we have, but now we have data to confirm that. And it is not a surprise either, since the median age in Norwalk is about 35 years old. Let's move up to the next bracket, 46 to 60. Now, number 3 stayed the same, but look at number 1 and 2. Public safety and street improvements now reign the top 2 topics they would love to know about in this age group. Let's move them up to the next one. For those who are 60 years and young and up, street improvements and public safety remain the same, but look what snuck in on the top 3, city events. You can read between the lines here about their lifestyle stages, maybe perhaps from everything from retirement to being more involved with their families again, with their grandkids. But what this does, it allows us, in this particular case, allows us to better communicate to these different groups. Also, in working with other departments, we can work with them on finding the right messages to hit these different age segments. This is just one piece of data that we're able to glean just from this one survey that went out. The big takeaway here is that Flash Vote will help us improve our understanding of what matters most to our community, and it's backed up by data. In conclusion, Flash Vote is a resource that aligns with the city's strategic goal of number 2, which is to work in partnership with our community to achieve safe and livable neighborhoods. Results of Flash Vote surveys will help the city make informed decisions and build trust with the community. With that, thank you so much for your time. That concludes my presentation.
Any questions or any comments?
The only thing that I would add is I did get approached by several residents since the survey went out, letting me know that they completed the survey. So not only did it reach the right audience, but they completed it at the same time. So that means we're getting it out there, which was great. It was great to get that feedback from our residents and not just here, at the dais. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a series of videos, and this is, again, to share with our community, specifically those that were not able to make it. We have great events, so we want to invite them. Our first video will be Park Connect ribbon cutting that just occurred recently.
Welcome to this very great event, the Park Connect Wi-Fi project. Park Connect is a step that meets city's goals of achieving safe and livable neighborhoods, where we're going to have free public Wi-Fi for everyone. The opt-in, no-cost Wi-Fi zones of Park Connect provides the community the opportunity to connect to internet during park hours. So this project will expand to all 12 Norwalk parks and create inclusive, safe, and accessible environments for the community. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Here's to a more connected future for our community.
And just to mention on that project, funded by federal funds, by our Congresswoman Linda Sanchez, and ARPA funding, which is also a federal funding source complete for all 12 parks. And so not using general fund, but we're going to get this project completed, and very proud to be able to have this resource for our community. The next video will be the Thanksgiving in Norwalk.
Thank you so much, all the volunteers. You make Thanksgiving special for our seniors. Thank you very much for taking your time and giving some joy to our beautiful seniors. Thank you so much and happy Thanksgiving.
This is a tradition I am so excited to see has continued year over year. Thank you to the entire team. We are blessed to have all of you with us today.
Thank you very much for being here and sharing this with us and our community. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And again, thank you to the volunteers for making this event really happen. Next, we have a holiday festival and tree lighting ceremony.
Welcome to Norwalk's annual holiday festival and tree lighting ceremony. We have craft, snow globe, games. We have refreshments. We also have snow slides. We have a night market, and we have an amazing lineup of food trucks for you to enjoy. And we have a ton of talent lined up for you.
Council, let's get started on building a snowman on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Merry Christmas, Norwalk.
Another great event. The next, we'll have the biweekly. This collects several events within the community, and again, just a taste of the events that you can participate throughout the year during the holiday season. And we'll have the biweekly review next. Mayor, members of City Council, that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Colleagues, any comments?
If we can just, I know we talked about the volunteers, but for our Thanksgiving lunch at the Senior Center, I forgot to mention the food was cooked by Rick Ochoa from SoCal Pizza. And that is a huge part of our program. And if and when you are at SoCal Pizza, please thank him for all that he does for our city, and tell your friends and family the best way to thank him and show our support for him is to go to the restaurant. So thank you to Rick Ochoa and the team for all they did to cook our Thanksgiving meal.
And if I'm not mistaken, he's been doing that for the past,
From the very beginning.
from the very beginning. That is wonderful. That's just, an example of how our businesses really love and cherish the work that we do and the partnerships that we have. So yes, thank you for SoCal Pizza. Rick Ochoa is the owner, who do a wonderful job, and our seniors are always very pleased with the meals. Yeah, thank you. All right. We're going to move on to our consent calendar. There are 17 consent items for consideration.
Move on.
Okay.
I actually have a question on 11 and will abstain on 15.
Okay, so are you okay with moving the rest of them and then coming back to them?
Yes.
Okay, 11, and then, actually, we'll go ahead and vote on all of them except for 11, and then you can abstain on number 15, or do we want to separate them? Teresa, which one is best?
It depends. If she has questions, they can just hear the report and then we can vote on it all together.
I just have a quick question
okay.
on 11, and then when we get to the vote, I'll go ahead and abstain on
All
15.
right, so then why don't you ask a question before we vote? All right.
On 11, who has the report for the Outdoor Equity Program grant?
Ms. Sonia Batres.
I want to say, first of all, that I was really excited that we were pursuing this grant. I think that the opportunities are many. And I know that actually during our veterans event, I met, not for the first time, but I met one of our troops who their activity is very specific to the outdoors. And so when I mentioned this opportunity and the meetings that were coming up, they said that they were going to attend to give some feedback and participate. So that was my question is, I believe you've had all 3 meetings. Just curious as to what type of input you received from the community in regards to how we can develop such a program.
Yes, we had 3 community outreach meetings on the 14th, the 18th, and the 29th. And they were very successful. We averaged about 17 per meeting. And the grant proposal that we're going to be presenting is a 2-part. So one is activities in the community, which is obviously local activities. And the second part will be a trip to a natural destination. So it could be a day or overnight trip. So that would be a little bit more substantial. And the community gave wonderful feedback, ideas that we couldn't even have imagined. Some of the feedback was hiking, camping. We had a long range of like stargazing to learning about botany. And so we're going to be presenting this proposal in a couple weeks for the California Department of Recreation for consideration, and we're hoping that we will be awarded.
No, I definitely, I have, my fingers crossed, and I'm praying and hoping that we do get the grant, because like I said, there's definitely a lot of opportunity there, and I think that as we pursue our sustainability and environmental justice efforts, that can be something that we can use to further engage our community and inform them. So please keep us informed on, the deadline for the grant is?
It's December 14th.
Okay, and then do we have an idea of when we'll hear back, or what the decision?
I have the date here.
Awards?
Well, the grant period will begin fall of 2024, and it will go through spring of 2027. So the grant, if awarded, will be for fall 2024.
All right, awesome. Yes, let's hope. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? No? Okay.
Are we ready to vote on those?
There's a motion, no second.
Margarita, did you second them?
Oh.
You did, and then you have
she did.
questions.
No, I
Okay.
did second.
No, she didn't. So I have a first from Councilmember
Jennifer
Jimenez.
Perez.
Yeah, and I need a second.
Oh, we need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. And then before we vote, I just needed to make a note on item 13. The resolution number is just, there was a typo. It's supposed to be 23, not 2274.
I'm sorry, so number 23-74?
Yeah, on item 13.
Got it. Okay,
So,
all right.
okay, I will go ahead and call roll.
Thank you.
Councilmembers Ayala.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Ramirez. Is Councilmember there?
Aye.
There we go. Vice Mayor Rios
Aye, and abstain on 15.
and Mayor Valencia.
Aye. Okay, all right, and now we're moving on to item 18. No, wait, did I skip anything? I always tend to skip something. Item 18, council appointments to advisory bodies.
Mayor, I have an appointment today. I'd like to appoint Santu Beecham to the Community Promotions Commission. And I believe she may be online, Teresa. Ever since Santu moved into the city of Norwalk, she started getting involved right away. She wanted to know what was going on in her community. She attends most of our events, especially those that are in her neighborhood, and I'm very excited that she wanted to be a part of our commission.
Santu, can you hear us and can you respond?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So I've never done it over Zoom, but let's go.
I will make the motion to have her
I'll
be
second.
appointed. Thank you.
I'll second.
That was Valencia. Okay, we'll do the roll call first, and then I'll have you follow along and do the oath of office with us. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So, Council Members Ayala,
Aye.
Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Aye.
Mayor Valencia.
Aye.
Okay. And so I can't see you, but for purposes of, you're supposed to be raising your right hand. I'm going to go ahead and start, and then I'll do it in small increments for you to follow along. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Great. I, and state your name,
I, Santu Beecham,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And just so you know that my office will be sending out information for you regarding your appointment. So look for that in the mail.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I actually also have, colleagues, do you have anybody? Okay, I have one, and it is Pilar Solis for Arts in Public Places. Unfortunately, Ms. Solis could not be with us here today, but I think that she can get sworn in at a later date. And we'll do it, in the mail as well. Okay, and then when we come back as well. Can I get a motion, please, or a second? I'll make a
Second.
motion. Thank you. All right, and can we get a roll call?
Council members Ayala,
Aye.
Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Aye.
Mayor Valencia.
Aye. And we'll congratulate Pilar Solis when we see her. All right, thank you. And now we're going to go on to public hearing, item 19. Now is the time for public hearing to consider continued public hearing resolution number 23-57, substantial amendment to the fiscal year 2019-20 annual action plan coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security act funds and resolution number 23-58, budget amendment of community development block grant coronavirus response funds and amendment number 1 of sub subrecipient, thank you, agreement for homeless assistance. The public hearing is now open. Ms. DeVoy, do we have any notices?
I'll read the public hearing notice.
Thank you.
So notice of the item was posted originally on September 14th, and then again on 11/22 when the item was continued. It was also posted at the city's 3 official sites on our webpage at Community Development, Senior Center, and Social Services. It was also published on 9/15 and the continued notice on November 24th. I have not received any communications regarding this item.
Okay, thank you. And can we get a staff report, please?
Yes, Mayor and members of the City Council, Mr. John Ramirez will present.
Thank you, Jesus. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is a continued public hearing item related to the allocation of coronavirus relief funds that were distributed a few years back during the middle of the pandemic. There's still a certain amount of that allocation that's left over that staff is recommending be added to the existing contract for CityNet in support of our HOPE team and our social services staff in supporting the homeless community within the city of Norwalk. So I'll skip some of the background information since it's a repeat, but this would effectively be a substantial amendment to the fiscal year 1920, an amendment to the contract, and an amendment to the budget for these particular funds. The total amount subject to this amendment is $206,000 that would be added to the contract to support the extension of services for CityNet. At our last public hearing, the council requested additional information on the specifics of CityNet's progress in their partnership with our staff. And so we wanted to provide a little bit of background on CityNet and then provide more detailed information on the impact that CityNet has had in their partnership with the HOPE team and with our social services social workers. So CityNet is a regional entity that supports communities throughout the gateway cities, and they're committed to supporting breaking the cycle of homelessness within our communities. They're a 501c3 and they were established approximately 20 years ago, and they have a little over 200 employees, and they provide support within 7 counties throughout California. They provide client case management, and they support our homeless community in gathering documentation, finding employment, immediate supportive services such as food stamps and lodging, as well as providing cash. And ultimately, these efforts lead to temporary or permanent street exits, so into temporary housing or permanent supportive housing. Some of the accomplishments that CityNet has that have been obtained through CityNet's partnership with our staff is having 140 referrals from the HOPE team and social services in the senior center, and almost 1,000 client interactions. And this time frame is from October 2022 through September 2023, so just under a year. Of the 955 client interactions, there have been 152 clients enrolled in services, so either significant services that lead to temporary or permanent housing, or even services as simple as helping with getting their license or getting them into temporary shelter, or providing them immediate needs items such as toothpaste, toothbrush, a little care package, blankets, those kinds of services. So quite a few of the clients that they've been impacted or that they've encountered have been impacted by their services. We've had 25 positive exits, 12 of which have been into shelters, 11 into temporary housing, and then 2 of those into permanent housing. The next slide is a dashboard of this same information. The key has been CityNet's partnership with our HOPE team and with social services staff. We've been meeting over the last several weeks, social services, public safety, community development, and CityNet to discuss how progress has gone over the last year and few months. And then also, what do we see going forward as we look at different ways to implement the homeless strategic plan that the council recently reviewed. And how does CityNet fit into that, and how can CityNet help us transition into a more maybe a more permanent approach to handling our homeless situation. So CityNet has some transitional services that we've been working through with them, both Ozzy Ramos and Gabriela Regalado. We've been meeting with them and talking through what our needs are, so that the folks who are out in the field and on the ground get the direct support they need. One of the great benefits of having CityNet on board has been helping support our homeless citizens in the navigation services, getting their documents. If anyone has had to go through, if you lost your wallet and then you have to get a new license, you have to get updated insurance card, you have to get your bank information. It's an enormous challenge. And so for folks who don't have a permanent place of residence, it's even more difficult. So CityNet has been instrumental in supporting our clients in getting these types of documents together. And then that enables the HOPE team and Gabriela's team to be out in the field, on the ground, supporting other members of the community to bring them into that same effort. So right now, CityNet's really focused on 15 active clients that have a combination of, I would call it a variety of levels of service that are needed. And so as part of transitioning into implementing the homeless strategic plan, we've worked with CityNet to see how they can transition these services as we move towards the homeless strategic plan implementation. So they would continue to assist with 15 active clients and support the HOPE team and the social workers with continuing to support the navigation services for these clients and any others that come in. They'll be working 5 days a week, and we're working through the particulars of the schedule. We haven't done that yet. We haven't talked through that particular schedule yet. And they are also providing an option for a census if we need that. And that's an option that if we don't use them for the census / point in time count, we would fold that money over into continuing their support of our community with the navigation services. So there's no general fund impact. These are CDBG CV funds from fiscal year 2019-2020. And so those funds will just be reallocated and support this effort. And we've had a lot of positive feedback. I've had a lot of positive feedback from both Ozzy and Gabriela in terms of the partnership. And we're looking forward to being able to extend this over the next several months. And then that would give us an opportunity, as we're meeting internally on the homeless strategic plan, to see what would be a future fit, if any, for CityNet or any other consultants as we move that effort forward. So Teresa already touched a little bit on the citizens advised and the notice of public hearing. We did a lot, so it's 2 slides. And then the recommended action is to adopt the substantial amendment and adopt the resolution approving the amendment to the fiscal year 23-24 budget and appropriate these funds from HUD to the homeless assistance activity, and then approve the amendment number 1 to the agreement with CityNet. So with that, staff is available for questions, and a representative from CityNet is also here. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments, colleagues? No, I think.
Yeah, John, I'm glad you gave us the additional information on this. It kind of cleared up some questions I had in my mind. So, absolutely, thank you for that, because all that stuff that goes through social services and stuff like that runs through community development. It's always important, in my mind, that you've got public safety, especially with homeless. You got public safety and you got social services on board, so you can kind of get an idea of what the whole thing looks like. So thank you for that.
For sure.
Yeah, such great work that's being done. It's really great to see the numbers, and those, I think, are just micro numbers, because there is so much more done, so many more calls But these are the ones that I think follow the protocol and the rules, basically the data that is necessary for the CDBG funds to get, to have the money there. But there's so much more that is done as well. Jennifer, did you want to say something else? Okay, so thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, we're going now on to, is it item?
I'll move the item.
Oh, we had to move it to vote on it.
I don't believe there's any speakers here.
Second.
Speak on this item. The only one would be would be Santo, and I think she's only here for the purposes of the advisory body. Okay. So, since I missed all that, who did first and who did second? Sorry.
Jennifer and Margarita second.
Thank you.
I think.
There was a
That's what I
race.
heard.
I saw that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now we'll do roll call since we're closing the public hearing and there's no speakers. Council members Ayala. Perez.
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
And Mayor Valencia.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, now we're going on to item 20. Resolution number 23-69, approving a sale and purchase agreement for the sale of the Artesia service area and related assets of the Norwalk Municipal Water System. A staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor and members of the City Council, Mr. Glenn Cow will present.
Test, test.
Mic check. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Very good. Okay. The item that will be presented for you today is the consideration of the sale for the Artesia service area. Some background on this. It is part of the city's municipal water system. It provides water delivery to three areas bounded within the city of Artesia. We refer to it as ASA. The population served is about 2,300 residents. There's a total of 891 service connections. The three zones or three areas here. This is Zone A. It contains approximately 490 service connections. Zone B, or Area B, 129 meters. And Area C is 272 meters. Further background, the city acquired the ASA from the former county water company in approximately 2003. The ASA is contained entirely outside of the city's boundaries. Due to that fact, it places strain upon the utility staff to operate and maintain. Some of those issues deal with or have to do with the distance and travel time to respond to meter reading and any emergency services that come up. Things do happen on systems. With our current staffing levels, this contract services are required to provide for both the meter read and emergency responses. The system does have peculiarities in regards to age, and it does require upgrades to the capital components. Pursuant to California Public Utilities Code, Section 10061B, it authorizes the city to sell all or any part of the portion of a public utility located outside of its boundaries. With that, the city initiated the process for the sale of the ASA in late 2018. City Council then provided direction to staff to engage for the solicitation for the sale of the ASA. With that, on April 6th of 2021, staff had generated a RFP for the sale of the ASA and its related assets. One component that is not in the sale will be the groundwater pumping rights. Based on its location, it was determined that a potential purchaser for the services and the operation and its delivery would have to be geographic location to the ASA. The RFP was solicited to the most likely qualified candidates that were both as Golden State Water Company and Liberty Utilities. The city had received one proposal from Golden State Water. From careful review and consideration of the proposal and their adjacency geographically to the ASA, they were determined to be suitable for purchase. Some of the challenges we're dealing with in all water throughout the nation is federal and state water quality regs can continue to evolve, and they do they present potential, use the word threats here, for unpredictable due to additional costs for the water production. Some of the things that we've been hearing news are the per of polyfluoroalkyl substances in the groundwater, and that will increase cost what we're dealing with in treatment and delivery of the water. Golden State, based on its geographics and its capability of its base, of customer base, is definitely better situated to serve for the Artesia service area. Our available resources simply can't compete with that to provide that service. Golden State's offer for the purchase is in the value of $5.25 million. Over the past few months, we've been working combined with the City Attorney's Office and Golden State's staff in regards to coming up with the negotiated terms for the sale and proposed purchase. Shells, we know that again, I'm going to reiterate this, that the groundwater pumping rights will not be part of the sale. If a purchase and sale agreement is approved by City Council through the proposed resolution number 23-69, the next step would be that staff would be assisting Golden State Water to obtain the required necessary approvals of sale from the California Public Utilities Commission. That process is expected to take a number of months. Financially, for any fiscal impacts, upon completion of the sale, the city will receive a one-time lump sum payment in the amount of $5.25 million from Golden State Water. With that, the recommended action from staff for you to consider is staff recommends City Council adopt resolution number 23-69, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Norwalk finding that requirements pursuant to California Public Utility Code Section 10061 for the sale of the City of Norwalk's Artesia service area water system and related assets located outside of its boundaries have been met, and approval of the sale for the purchase price of $5.25 million. That concludes my report. I'm happy and available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions?
And the only question that I have is just confirming the lump sum amount would then go into our water fund. Is that correct, or would that go into a different area? Because I know that we have a lot of projects and things that we need to do to fix certain wells, some of the other water service areas that we have. Does that money go into our water fund, or does it go into a different location?
Yes, it's property of the water operations, so it would go back into the water fund.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that it's known that even though we're getting this lump sum of funding, it is allocated to go back into our water program in the water accounts here in the city. So that way we can replenish that fund and, continue to make improvements in different areas. Thank you. That's the only question I had.
Thank you. Good question. All right. So, Teresa, we're going to be voting on this.
I'll move it.
Second?
Okay. We have a motion by Tony Ayala, seconded by Councilmember Perez. Teresa, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Ayala,
Aye.
Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Aye.
Mayor Valencia.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna go on to item 21, resolution number 23-70, making findings under Surplus Land Act and approving the purchase and sale of real property located at 12843 Norwalk Boulevard. Staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, our City Attorney Arnold Glassman will present.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. I have before you this evening a project that we've been working on along with John Ramirez and his staff for quite some time. This relates to the purchase and sale of the real property located at 12843 Norwalk Boulevard. This panel shows the exact site of the unimproved location, which is at Adderey Street and Norwalk Boulevard. Next panel. A little background on how we got to where we are tonight. That in 2008, the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency acquired this property via eminent domain from the Wilshire Funding Group. Upon dissolution of the redevelopment agency by the state, the property was transferred to the city as the successor agency. The resolution of necessity associated with the eminent domain process stated that the property was to be used for public parking purposes. Pursuant to the California's Code of Civil Procedure, if the property is not used for public parking purposes within 10 years of the adoption of the resolution of necessity, then the city must offer a right of first refusal back to the person or persons or entity from whom the property was acquired. As of 2029, the property was not used for public parking purposes and therefore did not meet the 10-year requirement. On January 29th, 2019, the Wilshire Funding Group, the prior owner, filed a writ of mandate against the city to enforce its right of first refusal. On May 2nd, 2019, the court overruled the city's demur to the writ of mandate, effectively recognizing the Wilshire Funding Group's right of refusal. From that court hearing and ruling, the city and the Wilshire Funding Group entered into negotiations and subsequently agreed to a purchase and sale agreement, which was dated July 24th of 2020. The sale of this property was listed at $750,000, which was an amount that was based upon two independent appraisals with the date value of April 15th, 2018. Under the Surplus Land Act, that a property is declared to be exempt surplus land, that unless the property is declared to be exempt surplus land, the Surplus Land Act requires that the property must be made available for development into affordable housing. In July of 2023, our office sought concurrence from the California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, regarding the proposed sale in compliance with the Surplus Land Act. On July 10th, 2023, Representative HCD issued the following statement. The granting of first right of refusal to Wilshire Group Funding to purchase the property under the appropriate California Code of Civil Procedure is not a disposition of surplus land. Therefore, the property is not subject to the Surplus Land Act. Alternatively, the government code defines surplus land as land that is subject to a valid restriction that are not imposed by the local agency and that would make housing prohibited unless there is a feasible method to satisfactorily mitigate or avoid the prohibition of the sale of the site. The Wilshire Group's right of first refusal is a valid legal restriction on the property that would prevent the city from offering the property for housing. As the Wilshire Group possess this right, there is no feasible way for the city to avoid or mitigate this condition. The actions taken by adoption of the resolution are exempt under CEQA. The actions under the resolution would also fall under the common sense exemption under the CEQA guidelines, where it can be seen with certainty that there is no possibility that the activity in question may have a significant effect on the environment. That only addresses the issue of the sale. If the development of this property comes before city staff and city council, there would likely to be CEQA analysis and evaluation. So tonight we're asking that the adoption of the resolution take place with the finding that the sale of the property is not a disposition of surplus land, and alternatively that the property is exempt surplus land as land that is subject to a valid legal restriction. Also, the resolution approves the purchase and sale agreement and the escrow instructions as presented and to be signed by the city manager. Thirdly, we find that the resolution finds that the approval is exempt from CEQA and none of the exceptions to the exemptions under CEQA guidelines apply. If there's any questions, we'd be happy to address any questions from the council.
Colleagues, any questions or comments?
Move it.
All right. Jennifer, Councilmember Jennifer Perez, seconded by Vice Mayor Margarita Rios. Teresa, can we get a roll call?
Council members Ayala,
Aye.
Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Aye.
Mayor Valencia.
I'm an aye. That passes by roll as well. Okay. Item 20, if I'm not mistaken, item 22? Yes? Okay. December and January meeting schedules. Staff report, please.
Yes. Mayor, members of the City Council, we have before you a schedule of meetings for City Council meetings for the next, the remainder of December and January. We're looking at the next few weeks and in meeting with the directors in the items that we would bring to council, we are recommending that we cancel the last meeting in December and the first meeting in January. Both meetings wouldn't have any pertinent items on the agenda, and due to the holidays and due to the vacation schedules, it would be prudent for us to be able to cancel those meetings and have our next meeting next week, which is the mayor's reorganization, and then the following meeting would be January 16th, 2024.
I'll move it.
Second.
Tony Ayala, seconded by Jennifer Perez. All right. Questions, comments? Teresa, roll call.
Council members Ayala,
Aye.
Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Aye.
Mayor Valencia.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes 5-0 as well. Excuse me, item 23, employee mental health break, closure of some city operations from December 26th to December 29th. Staff report, please.
Yes. Mayor, members of the City Council, we as the executive team have discussed the proposed closure of City Hall and other facilities from Tuesday, December 26th through Friday, December 29th of this year. Pending City Council approval, some essential city services in the public safety, public services, transportation, recreation, and social services departments will remain open at minimal levels. Full-time employees will receive 35 hours of mental health break in their leave bank, and part-timers will receive a total of 12 hours of mental health break in their leave banks. Any staff working at City Hall or other city facilities that are scheduled for closure during that period will utilize the hours received in that bank in future at a future time. Employees that will continue to work during the closure may utilize the mental health break leave hours beginning Monday, December 18th through Sunday, June 30th, 2024. And that will make available specifically in transit the varied schedules to have them be able to use their bank of hours up until June 2024. But it would be any department that would have the necessity to be open during the mental break. And any balance unused by June 30th would be forfeited. There is no direct fiscal impact for the full-time employees. Historical information indicates that as a result of winter closure, the number of unused vacation hours paid out did not increase. Based on prior fiscal year's vacation payouts results in fiscal year 2021-22, a total of 84 full-time employees or 6,729 hours, and in fiscal year 22-23, 88 employees or 6,690 hours vacation hours were paid out. So at this time, we would like the city council to consider the allocation of 35 hours of mental health break to full-time employees and 12 hours of mental health break to part-time employees, and the closure of City Hall and other city facilities from December 26th to December 29th, 2023, with the exception of some essential city services and public safety, public services, transportation, recreation, and social services departments. That concludes my report. Would be happy to answer any questions and or provide any comments.
I wanted to, when I first heard of this, I thought it was a very nice gesture. But I also had a concern that City Hall completely, for City Hall not to completely close down, because of course we don't close down services that are homes, our residents, they still need the services. So I'm really glad to hear that essential services will be available. Granted, not at a full-time level, but they will be available, made available, phone call, email, web, what have you. And I think that information will be forthcoming. Yes?
That is correct.
Thank you. All right, colleagues? Yes, Vice Mayor Rios?
Yeah, just as a follow-up to that, I agree it's a nice gesture. And as I mentioned before, though, because we do recognize the need for services, essential services that really are around the clock. I mean, they're 24/7. We can't realistically shut the city down. And I just feel that those employees that provide those essential city services, which is our public safety, our transit, park and rec, social services. I mean, I think the need for a mental health break is definitely warranted. So I would ask that that the directors and supervisors of these particular staff members just be very cognizant of planning so that there's no issues. I mean, if you plan accordingly, you let your staff off, take their, mental wellness or mental health wellness hours. And so there's no concerns with someone not being able to take advantage of this opportunity to take some time off. So that would be my request, just to, keep tabs on your staff so that there's, good planning in place. So if they request that time off, within the next few months, that there's no issues and you can work it out and still find a balance to provide the services that we need. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Ayala?
Well, I think, having worked here myself for many years, I don't think there's a slower time during the year than between Christmas and New Year's. So I think it makes sense, to do that. I think the essential service people that are here, I'd like to see, the city manager make that as pleasant as possible for the people that are having to work. But I think it's a good idea, and I talked earlier about all the things our employees do, their volunteerism, the execution of their jobs to enable big programs. They deserve it. I just wish that they could all take it at the same time. But I think, to Margarita's point, if they can't take it, then we got to make sure that when they can take it, it's in the most optimum way possible. So I absolutely agree on that. But I'd move this.
Second?
Thank you. Teresa, roll call.
Council members Ayala.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
Mayor Valencia.
Aye. Thank you. All right, now we're going to go on to oral communications. Teresa, do we have any online emails? Or
There wasn't earlier, but let me just check again to make sure nothing came in. Nope, still nothing on the emails.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jack Cornejo? There you are. Could you come up to the microphone, please?
please press the arrow.
City council members, city staff, residents in attendance, and those that are experiencing this meeting tonight through cable or internet. I'd like to take this opportunity to bring to your attention two outstanding members of the City Hall staff. They have provided helpful information and service to me during these last few weeks. Peggy and Alex O, as they requested to be identified, were patient and professional with me during an intense period of interaction regarding City Hall business. They are to be commended for their effort on behalf of the city and their residents and our residents. They're a shining example of what city government should be. Thank you.
Thank you. We have wonderful staff, and Peggy and Alex are definitely great ladies. All right, and thank you for recognizing them. We have Mr. Jesse Flores.
Hello. Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Jesse, part of the community organization Norwalk Unidas. I'm here for two topics. The first one being to express our support for the city supporting the formation of the Lower San Gabriel River Recreation and Park District, which was agenda item 13, I think. And I believe you all supported it. So a lot of our members are particularly interested in the river and restoration of it. We're continuously having bike rides along the river. And so we're eager, especially our youth members, are eager to provide some community input as to how we can restore the river, liven it up with some native vegetation, offer more biking and walking infrastructure and other improvements. So we look forward to any community input sessions that the new district brings. And the second reason is to support the council having its rent control discussion sometime in the new year would be nice, early on. Last month on Saturday, November 18th, the city council had a special meeting that involved talking about the homeless plan, which was great to hear, great to see the efforts that the city has in addressing homelessness. But what was also on the agenda was rent control and just a discussion on it. So we were interested in hearing what was going to be discussed, but then ended up being postponed. So yeah, we're here to urge the city council to have that discussion soon in the new year. The holiday season is expensive for families, so especially just folks trying to make ends meet with the cost of rent increasing and outpacing wages. So yeah, we look forward to that discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. All right, we're going to move on to Mr. Richard Lambert.
Mr. Lambert, please press the arrow.
Hi, I'm Richard Lambert, Christian, and I'm kind of afraid for my life. There's a bunch of people who think this is the greatest book in the world. On the yellow card, I put sin, and that basically covers everything. I know a lot of people think sin is one thing, but I'm talking about the standard Islamic narrative. A lot of those people I call SIDS because they are stupid, ignorant, and in denial. Stupidity, ignorance, and denial is rampant. People need to be educated. Those people who did what they did on the 7th, I call them Sidwas. Stupid, ignorant, devil-worshiping a-holes. David Wood, Jay Smith, the apostate prophet, Hatun Tash, now there's a woman for you. She's got more than any man I know in this city. Who in this city would go to a mosque and tell them they're worshiping the devil? They hung her by the neck with a rope. She didn't die, but she wore a neck brace for several months because a man saved her. And then they stabbed her in Hyde Park because she's converted hundreds of Muslims to Christianity by telling them the truth. They don't believe the Bible, but she shows them the verses in this. David Wood shows them the verses in this. Converts them. Sam Shamoun has debates. He showed them, in this book, the verses that show that Allah is the devil. They say Allah Akbar. I say Yeshua HaMashiach Akbar. A lot of people, they say that it's okay to rape women. If you got them by captive, it's okay to rape them. God says it's okay to rape them. Stupidity, ignorance. I think all those Palestinians who are complaining have to realize that when I was born, all the Jews living there were called Palestinians. That was called Palestine since 70 AD because the Jews have revolted and the Romans didn't like that, and so they changed the name. They should put all those Palestinian prisoners in jail or educate them by having Dave Wood play videos of Dave Wood hour after hour after hour, converting them and showing them they're wrong. They're following the wrong prophet. My prophet can even save people, sinners, because he can do what his namesake is, justify even sinners unto salvation.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. All right. Any other phone calls or emails, Teresa? No? Okay.
There's another person that joined us in our Zoom room, so I'm not sure if that individual, her name is Ms. Ramos, would want to speak.
Are there, again, I ask, are there any speakers or people wishing to speak? Now is the time to do so, otherwise we are going to be adjourning.
Ms. Ramos, did you want to speak? Doesn't appear so.
Okay, hearing none, meeting is adjourned at 7:57 p.m. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a nice evening.